My sisters and brothers, the Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
Reading from the good news of Jesus Christ according to St. Mark.
Glory to you.
On that day, as evening drew on, Jesus said to his disciples, "Let us cross over to the other side." Leaving the crowd, they took Jesus with them in the boat, just as he was, and other boats were with him. A violent squall came up, and waves were breaking over the boat, so that it was already filling up. Jesus was in the stern, asleep on a cushion. They woke him and said, "Teacher, do you not care that we are perishing?" He woke up, rebuked the wind, and said to the sea, "Quiet, be still." The wind ceased, and there was great calm. And then he asked them, "Why are you terrified? Do you not have faith?" They were filled with great awe and said to one another, "Who then is this whom even the wind and the sea obey?" The good news of our salvation.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
And so, my brothers and sisters, who made you? God made me. Why did God make you? God made you to love him and serve him in this world and to be happy with him in the next. Now, there's many of us who remember those very simple words. It comes from the old catechism. And as young children, we learned that. And it was drilled into us that God made us. And why did God make us? God made us to know him, He made us to know him, to love him, serve him in this world, and to be happy with him in the next. Very simple. It's a very simple truth. We're made by God. God is with us. God doesn't abandon us. And it tells us why we are here in this world, and it tells us where we are heading. Now, having said that, in the midst of the storms and the uncertainties of life, as we hear in the gospel text, it's so easy to forget that very simple truth. It's so easy for us to get distracted and to lose our focus. And so today's gospel is like a weather report. Now, I have a little custom. I listen to several weather stations in the morning, and they all say something different. And I always take the one that I agree with. So if I had to come back into another life, I'd come back as one of these meteorologists. So what's the weather going to be? So you can be sure when the apostles went out on this boat into the Sea of Galilee, they had no idea that a storm was going to erupt. And by the way, on the Sea of Galilee, I've been there many times. And I've been there through storms. And the storms on this very calm area, believe me, the storms are just overwhelming. Right? It's really pretty awful. So you have to picture them in this boat. And the boat is rocking. They weren't expecting this storm to happen. And they're filled with a lot of fear. And Jesus was sleeping on a cushion. And so they said, they wake him up, and Jesus, help us, thinking that he wasn't there for them. And Jesus gets up and he says, "Be calm. Calm down, everybody. Just calm down." And he calms the storm. And he reminds them who they are and the fact that God was there with them. And so in the readings today, the first reading, we see the book of Job. Job was caught in the storms of life. In the storms of life, as awful things happened to him, he lost sight of the fact that God was there with him and that God was not abandoning him. He forgot. And at the end of the book of Job, he puts his finger over his mouth and he stops talking and he listens. And the whole point of the book of Job, it's a very simple thing. God, I have no idea what's going on around me. I really don't. But I believe that you do. It might seem that you're asleep, but you're not asleep. I'm the one that's asleep, right? And so really it's a reminder that God is with us. And I came across just this morning one of the sermons of St. Augustine on this gospel text. And Augustine says it so well. And this is what he writes. He says, when you have to listen to abuse, That means that you're being buffeted by the wind. When your anger is roused, you're being tossed by the waves. So when the winds blow and the waves mount high, the boat is in danger. Your heart is imperiled. Your heart is taking a battering. On hearing yourself insulted, you long to retaliate. But the joy of revenge brings with it another kind of misfortune, shipwreck. Why this? Because Christ is asleep in you. What do I mean? I mean that you have forgotten his presence. Rouse him then. Remember to let him keep watch within you. Pay heed to him. A temptation arises. It is the wind. It disturbs you. It's the surging of the sea. This is the moment to awaken Christ and to let him remind you of those words. Who then is this whom even the wind and the sea obey? Great, great words from St. Augustine. And as the apostles in the boat saw when Jesus calmed everything down, they were filled with awe and wonder. And so, sisters and brothers, pray every day for radical amazement, awe and wonder as we are in the boat of life, knowing that the one who controls the heavens and the earth is not asleep. He is there with us, bringing the gift of his peace and calm.